potatoes, bag of apples, and then possibly some other veggies, but there's often a gallon of milk and some cheese and frozen meat and stuff. So
This is every Saturday down there, down in front of our place.
every Wednesday and Saturday from at the Township Building at 11:30 and at 69th Street Recreational Area at 12:30. So thank you everyone for joining us. And I think and council members, please hop back on. It's 7 o'clock. So like to thank everyone for coming to the Upper Darby special meeting for the capital improvement budget and 2021 budget public hearing for today, November 18th, 2020 at 7 p.m. So I call the meeting to order. You turn on your mic for a roll call.
Thank you, Council President Wynn. Councilman Tunis.
No,
Good afternoon, Upper Darby.
you need to follow the agenda, Mr. Councilman Gwynn. Go ahead, Ms.
Councilwoman Billups is here. Councilman Silva.
Present.
Councilwoman Blackwell.
You gotta unmute yourself. Council members, unmute yourself.
Present.
Councilman Gwynn.
Present.
Councilman Burke.
Present.
Councilman Sadiq.
I'm here.
Councilwoman Faralia.
Here.
Councilman Barnett.
Here.
Councilman Wagner.
Here.
And Council President Wentz.
Here.
All present and counted for. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. I'd just like to thank everyone else who's here on this, at this meeting. We have representatives from our, we have our mayor, we have our Mayor Keffer, CAO Rangione, we have Gary Marin, our finance director, we have David Heyman, our treasurer, we have our solicitors, Kilkenny and Court and Richardson. We also have members of our bond team for the capital improvement budget part of the equation. So we have Pat Scott, the names are moving around, Willard Z, so I don't know your last name, hi, David Payne, and I think that's everybody, right? Or is there someone else? I don't know who the iPhone is. So yeah, so I just wanted to let people know, residents know who is here. So at this point in time, I'm going to give the rules of decorum. Oh, and we also have our municipal clerk, Alexis, tuning in to help guide us through the way. And she's awesome because she's always takes the notes for our meetings. So, okay, so rules of decorum. Upper Darby Township Council and residents will maintain professional respect for each other. Council encourages free speech. However, civility is required, which would prohibit threats, profanity, scandalous, impertinent, and redundant comment, or any comment, the discernible purpose of which is to dispute or prevent the conduct of the business of the meeting. Okay, so now we have Finance and Appropriation Committee co-chairs Councilman Gwynn and Silva, council members Blackwell and Burke, and we are, Councilman Gwynn, do you want to open up the public hearing? I also want to acknowledge that we have Ms. Dobbins is also here helping us with all the public comment. So thank you, Ms. Dobbins. So take it away, Councilman Gwynn.
I'd like to present resolution 5320.
No, we're doing
The mayor's actually got a form in there first.
Okay. Oh, you're reading the form. Sorry. Go ahead.
Do you wish to go to public forum first, Laura?
Yeah, we're following the special meeting agenda. Special meeting agenda. And so next up is capital improvement budget hearing and second public hearing for 2021 budget. So at this point in time, I'd like to open up the public hearings. Ms. Dobbins, can you come on and give us some public comments? And actually then, actually, there's no time limit on these public comments because it's a public hearing. So take it away.
Council President, once we received one comment from the public, Peggy Braden Wilson, 824 Drexel Ave, Drexel Hill, PA. I have questions about our bond rating and its impact on our budget. I am not a financial expert and I'm hoping someone can clarify. Is it true that our A+ bond rating falls in the third tier of ratings, parentheses, best quality, high quality, upper medium grade, not the highest as it sounds like on the surface? Also, the rating is based on the evaluating agency's estimation of our financial ability to make interest payments and repay the loan in full at maturity. Why isn't our bond rating higher, and are we paying more or making less because it isn't? Revenues are an important part of the budgeting process. I think we should be looking into how to increase our bond rating and the profit from it. End of comment, and concludes all comments submitted for this hearing.
Okay, thank you. Can someone give us more, Gary, would you like to give us more information on the bond rating?
I certainly would. If you folks don't mind, I'm going to share my screen. Let's try this. So this is just a quick cut and paste I did while I was listening of the bond ratings from Moody's, S&P, and Fitch. So the person who commented is correct. Our rating is right here, an A+, which is the third tier. There's AAA, there's AA, and then there's single A. The general description says an obligor has strong capacity to meet its financial commitments, but is somewhat more susceptible to the adverse effect of changes in circumstance and economic conditions. But in particular, what I'd like to do is share with you an attachment that came from our financial advisor that addressed the rating that S&P specifically gave us. And so in part, it says, the A+ rating reflects our assessment of the following credit factors. I'm just going to read the cliff notes from the summary, first of all. Number one, adequate economy. Number two, adequate management with standard financial policies and practices under our financial management assessment methodology, excuse me. Number three, adequate budgetary performance with operating results that we expect could deteriorate in the near term. Number four, adequate budgetary flexibility with an available fund balance that we expect will decrease in the near term. Number five, very strong liquidity. Number six, adequate debt and contingent liability position. Now, each of these is followed by a lengthy discussion. It's a discussion that's worth having, and I believe you all have this document. If not, I'm certain we can put it in distribution. It's the Upper Darby Township Debt Book. It was produced by Zach Willard, who I believe is on this call.
Okay.
But in particular, to address the comment that was made, even if we were AAA rated, you know, there's always room for improvement. We have an A+, that's a solid grade. How does it affect us? The higher the rating, the cheaper the cost of funds. And so certainly we aspire to improve our rating. Vince and I were on a call this morning with the S&P ratings folks, specific to the upcoming bond issue. I think we fielded the questions very well, and I'm in the process of compiling additional responses to them. I certainly hope that with regard to our approach and meeting all of their needs and providing them with the information they're looking for, and in particular, producing the proper documentation of policies and practices, which we are in the process of adopting. I'd like to think that if not this pass, certainly with the next tranche, we should be able to see an increase in our rating.
Great.
Look,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
if you don't mind, I could just add real quick to that. So the rating that you have is from 2017. There hasn't been an update since then. So the document that Gary's referring to is from back then. Now, as Gary mentioned, we did have the rating interview today. Vince and Gary did a real good job. I want council to know there's a lot of work that goes into these bond issues on your staff's, part. And there was a lot of prep work, but the interview did go well today. Now, the environment that we're in right now is a very hard environment for credit ratings with COVID-19. We work for hundreds of local governments across PA. We're seeing a lot of downgrades in Pennsylvania. We're seeing a lot of negative outlooks. But I think, the township story is still pretty strong, and you're headed in a good direction, and you have growth. So we're hoping that we don't have any negative activity, but I just want to point out that it's a tough environment. So we do expect to get the rating back on the 23rd, at which point you'll have a brand new report, which will outline what they're going to think about, things that could make the rating go up, things that could make the rating go down, and it's going to go through each of the different categories again. So that'll be a good kind of new starting baseline for how we want to view the rating and how, we could take an approach to proactively try to increase the rating in the future.
Great. And CAO?
Yeah, thank you, Council President. I basically, a lot of what Zach and Gary said, I wanted to say, so I'll just echo and agree with their various points. And also to Ms. Wilson's question, in terms of things that we're proactively doing to try to improve the rating. A lot of Mayor Keffer's initiatives to raise revenue through things like the new property maintenance program or the new commercial fire inspections. We already have been putting things in place, parking ticket increases, things like that, ways to increase our revenue portfolio are things that the rating agencies look very favorably upon. So we have taken some of those proactive steps, and the mayor's agenda is geared toward that already. Yeah.
Great. And also, I think some of this, in reference to that, is some of the initiative actions that we've taken in the past year was not just to increase the revenue, but to actually cover expenses that weren't being covered previously, to make sure that we weren't incurring a loss by like the sewer lateral inspections and, certain code enforcement type stuff, just to cover the cost of some of the processing fee for our people going out.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, great. And just can someone tag in a little bit more on how, because you kind of touched on it, but how the bond how the rating affects the purchasing of the bonds. From a previous meeting, there was a reference to because we're an A+, we have to provide more insurance than if we were a AAA rating.
Sure, I'll field that again. And also on the phone is Dave Payne from PNC. He's the township's underwriter, so he can chime in too. But so the A+ credit rating is what, PNC uses to market the bonds when we go out and actually price bond issues, whether it's a refinancing or new money. Now the A+, it's a middle tier rating. It's not a poor rating. It's not the best rating. When you're below the AA category, which you're one notch below that currently, typically what we do is we bid out bond insurance companies and we do purchase a bond insurance policy which then brings the township's bonds into the AA category. And so in exchange for that bond purchase premium that you pay, you then get a higher credit rating, which means you get lower interest rates. We only do that if we think it's going to increase, or I'm sorry, decrease the cost of the borrowing by at least the insurance premium. And in today's market, that is the case. So we do expect to purchase bond insurance on, any future transactions as long as we stay in the A+ rating category.
Yeah, Zach's correct. One of the other attributes of bond insurance is not only a lower rate, which has to be proven by PNC providing Zach with interest rate information, which proves that the premium that you would pay for bond insurance is more than covered by the reduced interest rate and reduced interest costs. But another aspect of bond insurance in the AA category is it opens up a lot more investors to give credit to your bonds and purchase them for their portfolio. There are a lot of institutional investors that have a minimum standard of AA, and therefore bond insurance is really to open up the investor universe when you're not quite at that AA category. In terms of the spread between something of an A+, which is what you're currently at, and potentially a AA- one notch improvement, the interest rate variance is only somewhere in the area of 0.1 to 0.15%. It's more of an art looking at the AA category as opposed to A+ than really a science in terms of the negative effect of a higher interest rate. It's not that much. Yields across the whole maturity schedule are very flat, as well as spreads between an A+ and a AA- rating. So I agree with Zach and with Gary and with Vince. Maintaining that AA or maintaining that A+ rating is the first consideration. If you can get an improvement, or if we can work toward improvement for the next series of bonds, that only places you in a better universe.
Yeah, in the COVID-19 world, we definitely, the first goal is, as Dave just said, to hold on to the current rating. And, we can develop a strategy and speak more about, trying to achieve an increase in the rating. Typically, an increase in the rating does take, kind of a multi-year approach. The rating agencies like to see a pattern. They don't want to see 1 year where you did really well. They want to see, a few years where you trend higher. So again, we can talk about, kind of ways to go that route if that's one of our priorities.
Okay, no, that's really good to know. It's a question that's been rolling around our community for the last couple of weeks, so I just wanted a little more clarification. Councilman Quinn?
Just have a quick question. The zoning or the reassessments that we will be getting from the county should not interplay with any of this, correct? Because basically they're designed to put you in the same basis.
That's correct.
Agree. I think actually reassessment in the eyes of the rating agencies is a healthy exercise, albeit it takes a year or two to perhaps make sure that everything is equitable between the old assessment and the new assessment. But it does show an effort on the part of the township and the county to make sure that they have everything equitable with all their tax base.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, great. Any other council member have any question or concern they want to share with in reference to the conversation? Okay, seeing none. Ms. Dobbins, can you just verify that no one else has come in during our conversation?
That is correct, Council President Wentz.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for everyone for taking part. And we're gonna, since we have no more comments from the public, I'd like to officially close the public hearing and take a motion to adjourn adjourn this meeting. Can I get a motion?
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
Second.
And I heard Blackwell. All those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say your name. Ayes have it. And so we are taking a 5-minute break. We're going to